British bike makers don't get any more iconic than Norton. But a few months back, it was Kinetic MotoRoyale who dropped a bomb on all of us by announcing a joint venture with this classic British bike maker to get them into the country. Now that's all very exciting, but just what can we expect? Well, unfortunately at this point, we really can't ride these Nortons, nor can we fire them up. But here are 5 things to know about Norton and the bikes they're bringing into India. 1. Norton has real racing pedigree. While most classic bike enthusiasts would know everything there is to know about Norton, most of us weren't aware of the fact that Norton is one of the oldest motorcycle makers in the world, started way back in 1898. By the time the American bike makers were getting off the ground, Norton was already winning at the first ever TT races. In fact, through the 30s, 40s and 50s, Norton was a name to be reckoned with at the TT as well as Grand Prix racing. After the 70s though, they did fade into obscurity, but they made a big comeback in 2010 with their latest neo-retro motorcycle, the Commando. 2. Kinetic is getting both these Nortons to India. Now that includes both versions of the Commando, which are the Commando Sport and the Commando Cafe Racer. But if you thought that the Commando Cafe Racer wasn't extreme enough, well, Kinetic is also getting the Norton Dominator into the country. Now it is a cafe racer, but it takes the racer in its name extremely seriously. The Commando, especially this sport version you are seeing here, is the more relaxed of the two bikes. It gets a long, slim tank, slightly raised handlebars and a single seat with a tail cowl as standard. Though, if you want, you can get a rear seat as well. It uses a standard dual cradle steel tubular frame and a box section swing arm at the back. The Dominator, on the other hand, is meant to be super aggressive. Its massive tank is all chrome, with loads of carbon fiber thrown around. And as its carbon fiber rear cowl attests, it's strictly a single-seater. But when I say seat, I mean just a foam pad, like a pakka race bike. It's built around Norton's traditional featherbed frame and also features a trellis swing arm. 3. Both these bikes use the same engine. Now that's a 961cc parallel twin motor that is quite old school. Well, they have got oil cooling, but they are primarily air-cooled motors, and they also use push rods for valve actuation. And the more old school part here is that they are not unit construction, which means the crankcase and the gearbox are two separate units like you find on old Bullets. And they aren't tuned for very high performance either, because they make 80 PS of peak power and 90 Newton meters of peak torque. But hey, that's okay. They're meant to be retro and charming motorcycles, right? Which brings us on to point number 4. Yes, they look very retro, and even the motors have a very retro feel. But underneath, these Nortons are packing some top-notch modern-day components. The Dominator, for example, packs an Öhlins monoshock at the back, which is fully adjustable, very much like a modern sport bike. And as you move up to the front, well, they're running 43mm upside-down front forks on the Dominator as well as the Commando. Again, both Öhlins units and both fully adjustable. And on the Commando, yes, it's got twin shocks, but again, these are still Öhlins shocks and are fully adjustable. And this modernness also applies to the brakes. Both the bikes are running 320mm twin rotors at the front made by Brembo with radial monoblock calipers. Heck, the Dominator also gets a radial master cylinder. And both these bikes also get ABS as standard. Now these bikes can actually put a lot of modern day sport bikes to shame. And 5, they are going to be pretty expensive. You have to understand that these bikes are completely hand-built at the company's plant in Donington in the UK. And it takes 2 full days to build one of these motorcycles. So they just don't come off an assembly line like every other bike. And secondly, they'll be coming to India as CBU imports, which means they get taxed thoroughly as well. Put all that together and you're looking at a price of 23 lakh rupees ex-showroom for the Commando. And the Dominator? Well, Kinetic hasn't given us official price figures yet, but expect that to be north of 30 lakh rupees. At these prices, they might as well be collector's bikes. But Kinetic also plans to actually manufacture these bikes in India going forward in a couple of years, so expect that price to drop down just a little bit. Would you like to see them on the road rather than in the garage of some collector? Well, we for one can't wait to get our hands on them for a proper road test, but that is still about 3 to 4 months away. And if you like this video, do mash that like button and don't forget to subscribe to the ZigWheels YouTube channel and click on the little bell icon to get notifications for our latest videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. I've been PD, you guys have been great, and I'll catch you in the next one.